The FNRad Snowboard Podcast is presented by Vans. Season 7 of FNRad is sponsored by Wired Snowboards, the Boardroom Snowboard Shop, Anon Optics, Time Bomb Trading, the Canadian distributor of Stance, Dragon, 32, and much more, and Tribute Board Shop in Nelson, BC. Anon Optics just sent me a bunch of new low-light lenses for night riding and foggy conditions, and I have to say, Anon goggles are the best goggles I've ever had. With great fitting frames, super comfy straps, and quick change magnetic lenses, this year I only bring one pair of goggles, even in the harshest conditions. I can change the lenses without taking the goggles off my face, which is key to maintaining a fog-free experience. Anon goggles are designed alongside their helmets and magnetic face masks, so everything fits together perfectly. Find yourself a pair of Anon goggles at an Anon dealer near you. Support also comes from Grouse Mountain, Mount Seymour, New Green Superfood Drink, Volcom Outerwear, Intuition Liners, and GoPro. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. Annie Boulanger is a backcountry force of nature. She grew up in an era where sponsors paid real money, women hadn't ventured into the Whistler backcountry, and social media hadn't made being a pro snowboarder a 24 hours a day job all year round. Annie's won the X Games and US Open, Trans World's Video Part of the Year, and Rider of the Year, all by doing it her way. I'm stoked to bring you this interview with Annie Boulanger.
What do you think your audience wants to hear about?
I would say snowboarding. Let's talk about snowboarding.
We can talk about snowboarding.
I think that's probably the best.
That's probably the main, yeah.
When did you start?
I started in 92, 93. So
Okay.
I was I was really young. And there wasn't any girls I knew snowboarding.
Where were you?
I lived in Montreal, and my parents would go sometimes on weekends skiing at like Mont Saint-Sauveur.
Sick.
And then my brother got a board, and I went to the shop, and I was like, what's this? And I just fell in love with it before ever stepping foot on a snowboard. I was like, this is cool. And I didn't like rules. I didn't like anyone telling me what to do. Like, I played sports like ringette and soccer, but I didn't like the structure and the rules. And snowboarding just at the time was rebel and people jumping on tables and drinking and partying. And I was young. I wasn't drinking and partying, but I just liked the scene. I liked the rebelness of it. And I liked the sport. And when I started snowboarding, I fell in love with it right away. Like, I wasn't a good skier at all. I could barely ski. But snowboarding, it just worked. And I would none of the guys at school would snowboard with me because they thought I wasn't really cool. And I was a poser because I was a girl. And so I just go by myself and I would watch guys under the chair. And I would watch them do tricks on the side of the runs. And I would just copy them and fall and copy. And I didn't know anything about magazines or movies. Like, girls were not really into that stuff, and we don't follow the sports.
Right.
And so I would just go snowboarding and observe and watch and try.
So what was your snowboard schedule like? Was there
I was really young, and so I would go when school would go, like a few times a year. You know, you can do like night school.
Yeah.
And then my family would go like some weekends.
Yeah.
And then I started really being addicted and really loving it. So then maybe I'd catch rides with like friends' parents.
Cool.
Who would go.
How did your parents feel about you snowboarding versus
They didn't.
skiing?
They made me buy the board. They wouldn't buy it for me because they didn't want me to just be not appreciate it and give up. Because it was so new and it was so expensive.
Yeah. To
get boots and a board. And they didn't want me to get rid of my ski gear and just quit a sport. So they made me pay for it.
How did you save money?
Well, I had some savings. I think they made me pay for half. So it cost me $200 or $300 at the time. And I got the ugly board.
What did you get?
I got a checker pig.
Oh my God.
It was the board from the year before. Was it discount?
Lisa Vinciguerra or
whatever?
It was
a dude's board.
It was a dude's board.
Yeah.
Because they
orange.
had...
I didn't like it. It didn't look good.
Oh yeah, no, those boards
I wanted
were
the
awful.
brushy with the whale.
Oh, of course you did.
That was really sick.
Yeah.
But no, they made me pay for it and I just got what I could afford.
Right.
And then that was my first board.
They rode fine, but they just looked like crap.
Yeah, I didn't feel cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, I'm cool. But, it worked and I loved snowboarding.
So you're this girl in Quebec riding the chairlifts, kind of watching what people are doing, copying the tricks on a checker peg board.
Yeah. And then after a few years, the guy started riding with me because I was doing 360s and I was spinning and I was pretty good. And then
Nice.
I'd go to the shop, like the EQ. I
Yeah.
had like Jesse Bowen and a few friends that were working at the shop. Well, they weren't my friends at the time. I was like the little annoying girl that would come like, how do you do this? And how do you get sponsored? And I would just bug them about how to get sponsors. And anyway, and then years later, I think I was maybe 16. Then I got like my first free board because I was just hitting jumps with friends at a resort and the rep from Salomon was there.
Oh, wow. Your very first freeboard is Salomon.
Yeah, it was those Salomon prototypes.
Yeah.
They weren't even out yet, and they had those silver prototypes
Yeah.
with the like little black logo.
And the black super fast base. Like,
Yeah.
they were good boards.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that was my first free board
Are
ever.
you kidding me?
It was a Salomon board.
And it wasn't at a contest. You didn't win a contest.
No,
It was just the
no.
Salomon rep saw you ripping and was like, okay, that
Yeah,
girl.
and then I started kind of like looking for contests
Yep.
because I was like spinning on jumps with the boys, kind of.
Yeah. That's still in Quebec.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I can't remember. There was a few contests, but they were like little, like Tremblant would have one event. And it was cool. It might have been, I don't know. I was like 15, 16.
Well, in Montreal, you could get down to New York. There was some stuff going on in the... Did you
I
go
didn't
to
have a
any
car or
of those?
driver's license.
you were like a kid
so
still.
I didn't really go too far.
And your parents weren't saying like, all right, let's find these contests
No,
and
no,
drive you
no,
all over the
no.
place.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah.
They weren't super
No, I
stoked
told
on
I was
snowboarding?
I turned 15 and
Yeah.
I told my mom I will be a pro snowboarder and move to Whistler.
Wow.
And I said, get used to it, the idea, because I'm going to move away. And I just wanted to tell her so she wasn't sad when I was going to move away, because before that, I just went to school and I thought I'd live in Quebec and I'd be maybe a psychologist later, go
Sure.
to university. And when I fell in love with snowboarding, I just knew what I wanted to do.
That is so fascinating and awesome.
And then my cousin, I think, had that, like my younger cousins. They told my mom, I think a few years ago, oh, he says he wants to move to Whistler later. And my mom said, well, Annie told me when she was 15. And then she moved at 18. And my aunt was like, oh, no. Oh, no. So, yeah. I kind of just knew. I'm really lucky.
Yes.
I'm really lucky. I just knew what I wanted to do. And I could see myself, like I would watch what the girls were doing on TV at X Games. And I said, I could be up there with them.
That's amazing.
And I just kind of knew.
Yeah. You felt it.
It was just like a knowing.
That's amazing. So when did you move to Whistler?
As soon as my parents allowed me. And so I was 18 and I was going to CJEP, which is like college back there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved on the summer and I had to go back in the fall to finish and to work. Like I would waitress to save money to move to Whistler.
At 18 years old?
You could waitress in Montreal.
Oh, yeah, because
Yeah.
you could drink at 18.
Yeah. So I was waitressing and saving money and just hoping to like move to Whistler. And so I moved when I was like 18, went back to school for a semester, came back for the winter. And I was really lucky. I had a cousin who lived here who let me move in his house with his wife for like a few months until I figured it out.
Yep. That's
And then
really
I lived across the street from Alex and JF and Martin Galland and all those
Oh,
guys.
come on.
They lived in Emerald.
Sugar Shack Crew, is that who that is?
Yeah, it was JF and Alex and all those guys. They lived across the street.
Yeah.
And so I would hang out with them a lot and like follow them around.
Well, that's a crazy crew. Those guys.
Yeah, I was really lucky because I met Alex in Tremblant
Oh, perfect.
before I moved out here.
Yep.
And he got convinced by JF to move out to Whistler
No way.
like a few weeks or a month before me.
Oh, that's
So by the
awesome.
time I got here, he introduced me to that whole bunch.
That's great.
And then I just became friends with all of them.
Yeah, I want to have Alex on the show, but
He's
because
awesome.
he's the brand
He's
manager.
so funny and he's my best friends for like so many years. And he's the one that taught me, like brought me the first time in the backcountry.
Nice.
It was Alex and then Martin. And then, yeah, they were nice to me.
Yeah, Alex doesn't want to do it because he's, the marketing manager for Vans. So he's like, oh, it's kind of a conflict of interest.
No, people would be
'Cause
so
it's-
interested.
Oh my God, I keep
Yeah.
telling him that. I'm like, dude, do it.
And he's smart.
Yes.
And he's always been very smart and
Yeah.
knows how to like read the industry. And Alex would be like, he was the encyclopedia. How do you say that word?
Encyclopedia. Yeah.
Of like what trick the guys did on which jumps.
Oh, nice.
Every day he would like call everybody at the end of his shooting day
Yeah.
when he filmed for Standard or Whitey.
Yeah.
And he would know what tricks got landed that day in the backcountry because used to be only 3 movies.
Yeah.
So he would know what guy did what trick on which jumps.
You're blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, he knew everything. And then he's like, okay, I can't do a trick that a guy's already done. So
Of
he
course.
had to do a different trick that someone hadn't done
Yeah.
on every jump. And
Isn't
so
that
he
incredible?
remembered everything. And then when I started, I was like, with no girls have hit any of these jumps. So there's no rules.
That's badass. Yeah, riding with those guys, JF he's so phenomenal.
And those guys like Alex, he had to film with Lucas Huffman.
Yeah.
And then they would come out like defeated, being, I try to hit Lucas's jumps and I can't hit Lucas's jumps.
Really?
Yeah, Lucas was fast and he wouldn't build cheese wedges like the French guys would. The French guys would build like good jumps and take their time, and they go build their jumps the day before when it was cloudy, so that when it becomes sunny, their jumps are ready, and then they hit a few jumps all day and they're very productive. Whereas Lucas was like ahead a bit, like Nico, where he did like tap downs.
Yeah.
And would barely like take the time to do a nice takeoff.
He'd see a feature and be able to
Yeah, and so
figure
I
it
think
out.
a lot of people had trouble riding with him compared to what they were used to before.
When did he move here?
Lucas?
Yeah.
I don't know. Was it standard or back dog?
I think he shot for both.
Yeah, maybe he started with standard and then went for mag dog after.
That's unreal. So what year do you move here?
I moved in 98, 99.
Oh, and then there was a big snow year the
That
next
was a big
year.
snow year, and
Yeah,
I didn't know how to ride powder. And I was competing.
Oh my God.
And it kept snowing every day. And I would go to the guys in the park, because back then you'd call the snow line.
Yeah.
And it would say the park's groom or the pipe's groom. And so I'd go up thinking like the pipe's groom, and I have X Games next week. And I'd go, and there was so much snow in the pipe. And then I would look at the park guys and go, it's not groomed. And they would laugh at me and go like, go right, pal.
Yeah. You're like knocking on the park.
Yeah, I'm like, why isn't it groomed?
They're smoking weed, and you're knocking on the shack, going, "Please get the pipe going."
Yeah,
I've
it's snow
got to
every
compete.
day.
Right. Yeah.
And then after a few years of living here, I came to the realization I either had to move to Mammoth or just ride backcountry in Powell.
right.
You couldn't live in Whistler and compete.
Yeah. No.
You would have to like move to Mammoth.
You probably still can't.
No, it's always foggy or
Yeah.
snowing,
Where's-
which is why I live here.
Yeah, Cicerelli and Sean Miskiman, they did all right.
But why would you want to ride park?
Here? Yeah. I don't
It's
know.
fun.
Yeah.
But it's way better to ride powder.
I get the whole thing. I get it. Like sometimes like 6 inches of POW and then they groom it
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
park. Oh,
Sure, I love
there's
park.
nothing
It's
better
fun.
than that. Right.
It's just I looked at my career after X Games and some injuries, and I was kind of decided to go for longevity.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I was the type of person that when I got injured, I got really injured. And I fell really hard. You know, some people fall and they don't really get injured ever, and they just like...
Yes. And some people have big injuries and
Yeah.
they come back from them like, you know, like the Mark McMorris thing.
Yeah.
Like where I think I broke my leg in 1995 or 96, like my femur.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I was in the hospital asking the doctor, will I ever snowboard again? And they're like, yeah, it's a fucking broken leg, dude. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But I just gave up after that.
Oh, did you?
I
yeah.
didn't have that
I guess it
fire.
depends how determined in your goals.
Yeah, I
at the
didn't have
time.
goals. That
Yeah.
was the thing.
See,
My goal
we
was
had goals.
my goal was get in Transworld. So
Yeah.
then I got an ad in Transworld and I'm like, I did it. So
Oh, okay.
that's it. That's all I had to do.
Success.
Yeah, total success. 100%.
I'm retired.
Reached all my goals.
Yeah.
But on the way to doing that, I could see what the real job was. Like
Yeah.
when you ride with someone like Devin Walsh and you're a guy like me, you're like, I shouldn't even get that ad in Transworld.
Right.
Like that wasn't.
It's a full-time
yeah,
job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Those
it's a
guys
lot of
are
dedication.
incredible. Yeah.
And stress and anxiety.
Well, let's get into that. So, okay, so you move here in 98. You're 18 years old.
Yeah.
You're competing. That's what you've got in your head. Like, I'm going to compete.
I wanted to go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
But then I got on the team and I didn't like the coaches and the team.
You didn't like the vibe.
I didn't like that they weren't cool. They were like skiers or dive board people. And they were just ruining the sport. And I had to like save money because I didn't have big sponsors by then.
Right.
So I had to save money to go do like a fist contest that no one cared about. And no one cared about these contests, but you had to do all these boring fist contests to get points for the Olympics.
Right.
But you had no help or support.
Yeah. Where was the contest that you went to?
I did one in Sing, one in Italy.
So these are expensive to get to.
It's really expensive. And I'm like really young and I have no money. And
Right.
so it's costing me thousands of dollars to go to these events.
Were you doing okay?
No, I was like the type of person that I either like do really well or get last.
Okay.
Because I didn't have a safe run.
Yep.
I either like do my best run ever
Yeah.
or fall.
So you're going to win.
But I wasn't good with pressure and consistency. Like if I had to change something, I would probably start therapy way sooner.
Yeah, like getting your mental game.
Yeah, mental
dialed
game
in.
for contests.
Yeah,
did not
Natasha
have
talked about that. She talked about having, I don't know where she got the idea, maybe from Burton or something.
I don't know.
Like all the athletes with an edge have some form of either therapy, you call it, or coaching or whatever it is.
Yeah, nowadays for sure.
Yeah, but back then.
Back then, it wasn't popular for the people I knew.
Yeah, it's stigmatized, right? Like
Still now.
Yeah.
Maybe I think that people that are on Olympic teams and followed and
Yeah, Natasha talked about it, just like the fear.
but some people are good under pressure
Yeah.
and they kill it.
Yeah.
And they grew up maybe competing in like gymnastics now or different sports.
Mhm. Yeah, Todd
so-
Richards seemed to have that kind of.
Yeah, some people just have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it wasn't for me. I like to have fun. Snowboarding for me was having fun with my friends and trying to ride my best. And so riding my best was more like jam format events
Yeah.
or riding the park all day with my friends and or who see like we hike the pipe all day and see who can get the highest or the best shot.
Yeah.
When there'd be photographers, then I would ride my best.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to do your best with the photographer and you can do it for an hour.
Hell yeah.
There's no like one run done.
Right. And you've talked about the women's conditions too. Like if it's going to be sunny and Bluebird and perfect pipe, that's when they're going to run the guys.
Yeah.
They're going to run the girls the windy day before or the icy
Yeah,
morning.
you're like at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
We always
sucks.
felt bad. Like when you were the girl in the contest, you felt
Yeah.
really bad. You felt like, oh, no one cares and no one's here yet to watch.
Right.
It's too early in the morning. And yeah, they kind of treated us kind of bad and made us feel bad or embarrassed about ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't very empowering.
Who were the girls that were going off? I mean, you were one
Back
of them.
then?
Yeah, like who were the
It's
girls?
like Hannah Beeman
Yeah. Yeah.
and when I started, AMK was stopping. It was Tara Dakitas, Jenna Mayan,
Oh yeah.
Hannah, Tora was starting,
Yep.
Leanne was starting, Priscilla.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tara was winning a lot of events, and Jenna.
Tara was badass.
Mhm.
Jenna
she was
too.
kind of on her way out because I rode for Billabong with Tara.
Oh right.
Yeah, so she was kind of. We were on the team at the same time, and she was kind of finishing when I was coming in.
Yeah, I remember her killing it. Kevin Jones.
I love Kevin. Kevin was on the Billabong teams also,
Right.
and we got to travel with him, and he was awesome.
Isn't he just the most genuine
Just
snowboarder
so
guy?
cool,
Oh, yeah.
so nice, so chill.
Yeah.
Everyone loved Kevin.
Hilarious to be
Yeah.
around. He's always being funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's great and
And-
humble.
Humble and just like a quiet like destroyer.
Yeah.
Like even just watching him like do a little butter shuffle or something, you're like, fuck, that
Yeah, he
guy's
was cool.
so good.
He was cool. He was on a lot of when we went on Billabong shoots. He was always there.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah,
Were Tara and he together at that time?
yeah. At
Yeah.
the beginning, and then they
Yeah.
broke up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were still cordial to each other. or whatever.
Yeah, she would like stay somewhere else most
Yeah.
of the time or something.
Yeah. She was badass. Like her story's fairly similar to yours. She knew she wanted to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of crashing in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm not really close to Tara. We never got tight.
Hit it off.
Yeah.
You were closer with Kevin.
I was so shy back then.
What?
Yeah, I was really shy and I was the newbie.
Mhm.
And it was like Tara and Kevin were like the
Superstars.
big, yeah, so you didn't go and just like sit with them and start chatting.
Oh, I see what you're
You know?
saying. Of course.
Yeah, you were kind of like the newbie and you just didn't say too much.
Yeah, there was a feeling that I guess it's just because I'm getting older. Like my whole life in snowboarding, I really fanned out. Like even meeting Chris Rasman and Wozniak at the Man Boys, I was like, that's the real guys. Those are the Man Boys.
Like even in absent, I was always like the rookie, the girl, the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really say much for a while. Like if we were in Alaska, the guys would just pick what's going on and I'm tagging along.
Mm. And would they help you pick lines and stuff like that?
In Alaska, no one helps you because they're spending so much money on Heli.
So they're picking their own lines.
Everyone's worried about what they're going to do.
Well, how do you pick your lines then?
I had trouble. Yeah. Bruce T would help sometimes, but it's all went so fast because they've been going there for like 8 years every year, riding the same mountains and the same lines.
So they know when it's filled.
They've written them, and they're picking their lines so fast that you barely have time to look.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I after a few years in Alaska, I was like, you know what? This doesn't make me happy. I would rather hang out in Whistler where I have time, I have good people, like snowmobiling. You have time to look at your lines. People have time to help you. The whole day vibe's better.
Yeah.
And then I decided to start heliing here too. And I just started knowing more with experience what works for me.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to keep up with Nico and Gigi, that just didn't work too well.
That's really important.
Like Nico and Gigi were awesome. They were so nice.
Oh, of course.
It's just as far as productivity went, and it was so expensive to heli in Alaska. And the way Justin ran things, I didn't really like. Because if you're not on Justin's crew, which is Gigi, Nico, Bole, you get like last pick of like when you go heli.
Oh, God.
And sometimes he'll pull out the whole heli to film like Roman on the jump.
Of course.
And then so no one else can use the heli for the hours that they are filming the jump.
Of course.
And so I just felt like that's cool. That's what makes the movie. And that's what makes the best shots. But as there wasn't like enough, let's say, helicopters for everybody to go where they wanted sometimes, or you're waiting. As far as when you're used to being in Whistler and having your own sled and making your own calls.
Totally.
When you're in Alaska, there's so many other crews fighting for stuff. It's harder to make calls with less experience.
I got you.
And then to get the experience, it's so much money and so much time that I just like riding in Whistler better.
Did you ever go up there with Martin? Or
in Alaska? No, he was there way before.
Yeah, way before, right.
And Martin was there when it was like nobody up there.
Wild West.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
Like soul laps. Like just
he said it was
$25
a token. And a token would get you to like all the closer peaks. Mm-hmm. And he was just be lapping on Kemper's credit card. With no filmers or photographers.
That's what I mean.
He didn't have to shoot. We never rode for fun. We just had to shoot. So I never really was there and doing like warm-up laps.
Right.
It's like
you say, they've been there 8 years, so they already know what they're going to hit.
Yeah, they know. It's
They've
like
hit
us here in Whistler, pretty much.
Yes.
It's like if you bring someone new to Whistler and be like, oh, we've hit this jump so many times.
Yeah.
Or you bring them on peak chair and take them to $1 Million.
Yeah.
And they've never ridden the mountain. You're like, oh, we ride this every day.
That's no big whoop. I've had it better. Like that feeling of like, it's okay today.
Yeah, for them, they've just had so much experience.
Right.
And they're
that's
such
incredible.
good riders.
Yeah, you hung with like the best riders in the world.
Yeah.
For your whole career.
Right, yeah.
That's epic.
Yeah. I felt like the worst rider every day.
Right. Let's talk about that. So you in Alaska, is that something where you come back and you're like, wow, that was productive and that was really fun and got lots of sleep and was
no.
Or was it just stress?
Like it was my dream to go to Alaska, and I'm so happy I went, and I had so many amazing people giving me these opportunities and sponsors paying. Mm-hmm. So it was amazing. I loved Alaska. The terrain's insane. It's just nothing really prepares you for it. I guess some things, but I wasn't really like riding those types of lines here. I didn't really know. And And then, the guys are awesome. I rode a lot with Roman. Roman was awesome. He was actually one of the nicest ones in the whole Epson crew as far as helping. And DCP, we rode with him a lot too.
He's a sweetheart.
Yeah, they were so nice. And Alaska's just, you go there, and because I was riding with different riders also, I went from riding with like the French Canadians Whistler guys to Nico, Gigi, Vole, which are more like natural terrain riders.
Totally.
And so they wouldn't really stop to build proper jumps. They'd hit things naturally, which is what I wasn't used to at all either from being in Whistler. So everything was so different in the way they were riding. So I'd come back like really depressed at the end of a day, going like, I fell all day and I have so many people expecting me to do well.
Right.
But you kind of have to go there thinking you're just learning with no expectations. Because I remember Oli Gagnon was a photographer.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of days up there together, and he was blown away shooting Nico and Gigi and Vole. And he said, yeah, but it would be hard for a lot of guys from Whistler too to ride with them.
Yeah.
So made me feel better, but you still feel like I just fail all day.
You seem to me like someone who's advocated for yourself your whole career. Like that you weren't just pushed around by team managers and by people saying like, okay, you're flying here now, go do this, win this contest, do that thing. Like you were directing yourself.
Yeah.
And
I've always been like that. That's more my personality.
does it come from your upbringing, do you think?
I think it's like astrology.
Okay.
You know, it's like my personality. Like
Yes.
I'm really one of those people that I don't really care what others think.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do things so people are pleased.
Gotcha.
You know, whereas some people, they like to please others. They like to be liked. And my dad's the same and I'm the same. And we kind of just are loud and blunt. And I don't know, that's just my personality. Where I've had to learn a lot and like meetings with sponsors, not to be as direct and
Aggressive.
not to say what I think.
Right.
You know, all the time.
Right.
Because it hurts people's feelings.
Right. And they're not used to that, right?
I didn't grow up in a very sensitive house.
Okay.
I grew up with like my brother and my dad. We're not really like compassionate and sensitive towards each other.
Okay.
And then, I don't have the personality. I kind of have like, I want to do this and I do it. And I don't know. When I picked my sponsors, I chose really wisely. And I knew that I needed sponsors that were going to support what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And then if I had sponsors, let's say, asking me to do like so many movie premieres, to go do a bunch of things, I would quit.
Wow. That's so smart.
Like the time to myself was so important.
Right.
That if I was overwhelmed with too many things to do to please others, I would have quit snowboarding and ended my career.
Right. But stay snowboarding, but quit as a
so I
professional.
always pick things that would make me happy.
Oh, that's right.
And that gave me time for myself. And I always pick for longevity instead of more money now.
What are a couple of examples of these sponsors? Like
I picked Salomon because I thought Salomon was awesome. I love their boards, but they didn't like ask us to do so many things like Burton. I didn't want to ride for Burton. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to be a part of a big team that you have to do everything together. That's why I don't want to be on the national team. Like I don't want to coach. I don't want to do group jogging in the morning. I don't want to go to I didn't like summer camps when I was a kid with a bunch of kids and you have to sing at the same time, the same song.
Yes.
Like some of my friends love that. I didn't want to sing
that.
the same song with a bunch of people. And so I kind of like to go against the grain of what everybody's doing. Like if everyone runs one way, I want to go the other way.
Cool.
And so I had to have sponsors that had like loose strings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Salomon, was Emmanuel Krebs there?
Yeah, but Emmanuel was the international team manager and I was on more the American.
Yeah.
So my friend like Kale Gray.
Okay.
Was the team manager, so I was really close with him for many years, and he's the one that really helped me when I was like, I can't do the Olympic contest, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And he allowed me to be quite free.
That's very cool, actually.
Yeah,
So
but they were
shout-outs
paying me
to
like
that
$5,000, so they can't really like.
Oh, for the whole year?
No, at the beginning I was making
God.
nothing. Yeah. So
yeah, they don't get to tell you where you're going.
so I was like, okay, I know I told you guys I was trying to try the Olympics, but it was like $5,000 back then.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, but I was scared to tell them because like they gave me $5,000. But $5,000, I used to waitress, so to save for the winter. So $5,000 was huge.
That's
that would
a big
help
amount
like
of money.
my entire budget for the winter for traveling.
Yeah.
So for me, that was huge.
So Salomon, who else do you get on? I
had Billabong for a long time.
So are you going through a magazine and going, Billabong could use a girl?
Billabong I got really early, but then I had like Drop gloves.
Yeah,
I would
those
look at the
are
mags
awesome.
and see like who doesn't have a girl.
Yeah.
And then it was Drop. I called Drop. Then I got on Anon
Oh, wow. Fuck.
because I was on Oakley.
Yeah.
And Oakley, after I won the Open, they didn't really want to pay me well or give me a raise. And I was like, well, what's going on? Can I go on the U.S. team? Because it was all Canada.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like,
sucks.
well, do you want to ride the shoes or the clothes? And I was like, no, the clothes are terrible.
Oh, they were so bad.
I'm like, no, I don't want to ride the clothes. I just want you to pay me for goggles. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, well, we don't have the budget. And they're like, well, would you ride the shoes? And I'm like, do I have to wear the shoes? I'm like, I'll sign for the shoes. But if I have to wear them, I was like, there's no way. And then they weren't really impressed. And I think that didn't work out.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then how do you get in touch with
I just was always
Anon?
honest.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Because I wasn't going to lie and then...
No, when you
stuck
look
wearing
at
Oakley
stuff...
shoes.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. when you look at something and you don't like it, but
Yeah.
you're like, I'll take some money to ride that.
Yeah.
You wind up like the guys who rode step-ins, right? Like Mark Frank, where he's like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck, I fucked myself for
And
a
it was
year.
important to me if I liked the clothes or if I liked the brand,
Totally.
you know?
Oh, that's really
So
cool.
I didn't want to ride. But no, I had like really cool sponsors.
Yeah, Anon's epic. That's
Anon was
you're
amazing.
getting that Burton money without having to do the whole
They were
Burton
cool.
thing.
They were just a really cool team to work with.
The goggles are really good. I still
Yeah.
ride them right now.
Yeah,
They're-
they supported me for so long, and I didn't have to. I could get some of the Burton advantages without having. And I never wanted to be head to toe anybody.
right.
Like Salomon had offered me to ride for Bonfire,
Yep.
and I just was scared because I'm like, if you lose one sponsor, you lose everything. And I always wanted to diversify, and I'm like, and that will give me more ads in magazines if every sponsor has to give me an ad.
Yeah.
And every sponsor can give me money to get in movies.
So you wrote that in there that you wanted.
Oh yeah, I
ads.
made them. I'm like, I will only ride for you if you give me an ad.
That's I mean, women snowboarding owes you a debt of gratitude. That's epic because now you've got.
But I wanted to get in the magazine when there was no girl in the magazines. And I'm like,
Yes.
the first way will be my sponsors to put me in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they'll like maybe run some little checkouts,
Yeah. No, that's smart.
things like that.
I
'Cause
mean,
it was really hard to get in the mags. No one wanted girls in the mags. And like the first ever photo I got in the backcountry, I got this really cool indie off a big ice drop.
yeah.
And Billabong needed an ad of me. And that's when they wanted me to ride park and go to the open.
Right.
And we had done a little Billabong shoot, and they had this like little nose press of me on a rail, on a pink rail with the close-up jacket. And they're like, we need your ad. And I'm like, I sent this a sick backcountry shot. And they're like, well, we can't tell you're a girl. I'm like, but it's a sick shot.
Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
And
Just
they
put my name
they took the photo of me on the rail.
instead of
Instead
the
of
good
the
shot.
cool backcountry shot when
Unfucking
no, like
believable.
barely any girls had cool backcountry shots.
That's unreal.
Yeah, that's just how it was. I had to convince my sponsors to start using backcountry shots.
That's just sad, actually.
It took a long time. It was like a slow process.
So when you go to the backcountry, do they cut your checks? I
Yeah.
already know this because
Yeah.
I listened to
Yeah, yeah. Because I had like won the X game. No, I had won the US Open a few times and going to X Games. And so I was their contest girl.
Yeah.
We're in meetings. They're like, Annie's winning this. She's our contest girl. This is why she gets this salary and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then they had like Gretchen. That was the pipe girl. And I was the slopestyle girl.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, you can't stop
Yeah,
because
no.
you're that girl.
Yeah.
In our profile, you
We don't
fit
have another.
these
We don't
boards.
have anybody else. To,
Like when they have
yeah,
meetings
yeah,
with like shops
Yeah.
and big, what are they called? The trade shows.
Oh yeah.
And they're
yeah.
selling their products. You're the girl for those products. You know, and so they're like, no, you don't fit anywhere. There's no marketing for girls for backcountry. We don't need that.
How
no
dumb
one cares.
is that?
And they're like, Victoria's on her way out. She's filming in ski movies because no one wants, like, there's no room for it in snowboarding. And that's when Donovan was getting cut.
Oh God.
That was that era where, like, it would fizzling out. Backcountry was fizzling out, and park and rails was getting super popular.
Because that's what was on TV.
That's what
or-
was
because
cool
the
at that time.
Olympics and shit too. Right.
I
Right.
don't know why that was the trend. And I'm like, I'm going to do it
That sucks.
because there's no girls doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I have a vision. There's no girls doing it. I'm going against what everyone's doing.
Nice.
Because there's a huge opportunity.
Yeah. Obviously.
And I liked, like, I know there's some girls that maybe you're going to say, oh, we never got invited. But for me, having no girls somewhere was an opportunity.
Cool.
I'm like, that's an opportunity. There's no girls doing it. I'm going to stand up.
You did that the whole way through your career.
Yeah. For me, that was an opportunity. It wasn't like, oh my God, we're like, people don't like girls. It was like, perfect. I'm going to stand out. And then
Yeah.
I'll be the only one doing it.
Yeah.
So for me, that was always like a vision and an opportunity to do something different.
Yeah. Your part. There was like a 10-year edit that they edited a bunch of stuff last year. Came out on Insta. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. I was just like, that's jaw dropping. Style, the size of the stuff. It's like everything's kind of gotten a little bit smaller, but more refined now.
Right.
Like back in the,
I don't know why. I used to love hitting really big park jumps. Like I would call Pat Bridges
Yeah.
and be like, can I come to Super Park?
rad.
When there's like barely any girls at Super Park, I think it was just Hannah Beeman and me that
Yeah.
would show up
Yeah.
and be like, we want to ride the jumps with the guys.
That's sick.
And he's like, okay. And he'd invite us. Like Pat was cool. He's
Yeah.
like, if you want to come, come. And then like some of the jumps I didn't want to hit. It was too crazy.
Yeah.
But some of the jumps I'd follow the guys in and we'd hit. And Super Park was fun because there's no pressure.
Right.
But I liked hitting those big jumps.
That's epic.
And then after that, anytime Pat had a hip or a quarter pipe, I was like, invite me, please.
Yeah.
And he kept inviting me until like a few years ago. And I was like, stop inviting me. I don't want to come, but thank you.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I just loved it. And then in the backcountry, my goal was always to see what was the biggest cliff I could hit.
Right.
Or that's just like what I love doing.
Yeah. I mean, that was the whole reason to get into snowboarding in the first place, was like, how far can this go?
Yeah.
Where's the biggest thing?
It was hard riding with Roman and DCP because I was like, I can't do this.
That's too big.
Yeah, that's too big. You guys are crazy.
And they make it look so easy.
They're so good. They're so strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be crazy being out there.
It's fun to watch.
Yes.
It's really fun to watch. To be out guy, like I felt so lucky.
Yeah.
To be out there and be invited.
Included.
It's very intimidating.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't want to slow them down. And also, the intimidating part is you only have one filmer for, let's say, all 3 riders.
Right.
And so you feel like if you're on your feature, you're taking time away from the filmer filming Roman or David. And they're going to do something way cooler. And you might fall 10 times and never land. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And those guys are just so cool and fun that there was never an issue.
Oh, that's epic.
It's just how you feel.
How does that compare with riding with the Full Moon guys? Because
the Full Moon girls, they were awesome. Yeah. It came at the perfect time because what happened is I filmed for Absent for 5 years. Then Nike decided to make their own movie. And what happened with Nike was weird. They had like a few people come to decide what was going to happen with the movie at the very end. And they cut most of the girls out of the movie. And they cut Danny Cass. Paxton only got 1 shot. They kind of decided like who were their cool people they wanted to feature in the movie. And cut out, like, who doesn't want to see Danny Cass ride?
Yeah,
who cares that Haldor did a cooler trick?
Right.
You want to see both. Like, you want to see Haldor, and then you want to see Danny. It's like watching Mark Frank Montoya and Ollie.
Yeah, who's limiting the time in this movie?
Yeah,
like,
I'm like, but you guys have athletes you've paid for so long that you just cut out of the movie. And we showed up at the premiere after working hard for this movie going, I'm so over it. Like, instead of, like, I thought Nike movie was going to be, like, my best part ever. Because I thought I was going to be like, hey, I want to get this shot. It's going to take the heli for a day. And I had all these ideas of all these shots I've always wanted to do that I didn't have the budget or, like, the call.
Yeah.
And so I was, like, making dreams in my head. But Nike didn't allow me to go to Alaska with Gigi and Nico. They're like, no, you can't go. I'm like, what do you mean I can't go? I've been doing it with Absent for 5 years and now I can't go, and they didn't allow me to go. Anyway, long story short, but at the movie I decided that I was tired of trying to impress guys. I was like, I'm so over it. Like, and then if they did give me the gnarliest and best part ever, then the next year after I would have been like, I have to beat it. There's never an end in sight of like, you have to one up what you just did.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of saw it as like being thankful. And being like, great, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to try and film with guys anymore and try to prove that I can hang. I was like, I don't care. Like,
yeah, you're getting the money anyways, right?
Well,
like,
no, but that was like a decision that I'm like, well, if that's it, that's it. But I'm like, I don't want to fight anymore. I want to take another path of like attracting people who want to see women ride. I just want to change the path of like who I'm working with, what I'm attracting in my life.
I get it.
And so I didn't want to film with Absent or Nike or guys anymore. I was just like drained.
Yeah.
And then Leanne said she was making a movie, an all women's movie. And there was nothing that sounded more fun to me than just to hang with my friends and travel with them. And then Leanne ended up making such a good movie.
Yeah.
Like, she killed it. Like, at the premiere, I couldn't believe how good the movie she made was. And I was so impressed. Like, I had no idea.
Right.
Like, I saw her work so hard. And she's made good movies before. But when we saw the outcome in the movie, it was insane. I was so happy to, like, be invited and be a part of it. But my decision was that I didn't want to miss out on hanging out with those girls for 2 years and traveling with them. And it was just such a fun project. And that's kind of what I wanted in my life at that time. I didn't want to be with guys in Alaska by myself anymore.
Right.
Alone with no one to hang.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and now all the girls were like at a level that everyone kind of learned with their own crew, and then we got to a level where we could all do it together.
That's rad.
So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that's probably the most all-time girl movie. And it was like people from all over the world. It wasn't
and what she did is instead of girls feeling like they're competing against each other, it was just people are having fun together and pushing themselves and supporting each other. And that was just a huge message.
That's how the guys' thing's always been. It's not like Romain and DCP are fighting with each other to one-up each other.
Yeah.
You're stoked when you see somebody land. You're stoked when you go out with your buddies. I think the Man Boys talked about it, how when you have like such a good crew, especially in Whistler, right? Like you've got the best terrain and you've got the best people in the world and you've got your routine. You're waking up in your house, you have a coffee, you go out there and you're riding with your friends. Mm-hmm. Team managers don't get it, that if they send you on a trip somewhere, they're like, oh, lucky you get to go to Italy or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to Italy with someone I don't know who's competing with me on some team that I'm just happen to be on with this person. Like could be a completely shitty dynamic. And then the filmer doesn't know you. So they're like, yeah, go up this thing. I heard you talking about Jonathan Moore just not being able to, like, there's some people that if they say, hey, this thing, you're going to want to go a little to the left and you're going to want to go full speed minus just a little. You're like, you could do it sight unseen. There's some people you could do that with. Sounds like Jonathan is like,
no, Jonathan's just another caliber of snowboarder. He's loose and he's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just another level.
He sees the mountain in a different way.
Yeah, but now he's just chilling and he doesn't ride anymore. But some of the stuff he did was insane. I've got along so well with Jonathan in the backcountry because we both wanted to ride lines, which was a big challenge my entire career. I really wanted to ride more lines, but I was always with guys who were riding jumps. Mm-hmm. And so it was really hard to take. I couldn't take the time to go to a face with lines when everyone's like building cheese wedges.
Right. What about Martin?
Martin, but Martin, like early on, we'd build a lot of cheese wedges. Mm. Yeah, and sometimes lines. Depends what was good that day.
Yeah.
And Martin would ride lines, but the rest of the crew were like young, kind of like park dudes that he was teaching how to ride backcountry.
Right.
And then on the absent crew, sometimes in Alaska, Nico and Vole, they build jumps. They build wedges and they hike him. Like, you guys are in Alaska with a helicopter building a cheese wedge. I'm like, in Whistler, we have a sled. But they're from Europe. They're used to hiking. For them, it's just an extension of how they film in Europe, going to Alaska. Sometimes they just get the heli drop and they ride down and they see like a landing, like, oh, we'll build a jump and be here all day.
They pick a feature.
And hike it.
Yeah.
I hate hiking. And I'm like, why are we hiking? There's a helicopter. I'll pay a few more $100.
Yeah.
Just to go do something else.
Oh my God, that's
But
amazing.
yeah, they would build a lot of jumps too in Alaska.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So the days that we actually rode lines in Alaska was quite limited.
Yeah.
We didn't ride that many lines.
And at what point was getting lines like what you were focused on?
I just loved it.
The whole time?
I always wanted to ride more lines, but the opportunity was tough because you needed to be with those people.
Yeah.
And so I only had my first year with Jonathan. After that, he quit. Yeah. And so I was always with Roman and DCP, which were amazing and great, but they didn't ride that many lines. They mostly do jumps.
Did you ever ride with Johan?
No, he was done.
Yeah.
Like,
he
Johan's quit when then Jonathan started. They were kind of like, no, Johan. And I think he really tore his knee at the end when he was in Braylorn.
Oh, right, with Al.
Yeah. No, that was like older than me. That was like Victoria.
Have you ever ridden with her?
Yeah. Victoria and I filmed for an entire season together. We did trips together to Utah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, I had to convince her. It was tough because we were close friends.
Yeah.
Like, our boyfriends were really close at the time. And then I got really close with her and really good friend. And then I felt like I was good enough on the sled. I had been sledding for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And I felt like sledding-wise, I wouldn't be a burden.
Right.
And I felt like the snowboard industry didn't know Victoria. My generation and the younger people, we didn't really know how sick Victoria was and how amazing of a rider she was, because we kind of had missed what she used to do.
Yeah.
Like, where I was from in Quebec, I didn't look at her riding at all. I didn't understand.
Right.
Until I started riding backcountry, and she had moved on and filmed with TGR. And so the snowboard industry, we didn't really know what she was doing anymore and didn't have that much visibility. And so I really thought I could close the gap.
Yeah.
And
cool.
bring her towards like the younger riders. And yeah. So I brought her in, like I had a filmer and budget. And I'm like, I have a filmer budget. My friend Fabio is making this woman's movie. I'm like, you can like use the footage after for your TGR movie because it's not even like competing videos.
Yeah.
And so she agreed. She thought about it, and then she agreed and she would come. And we spent a whole season filming together until she went to Alaska in the spring. And it was super fun. We had a lot of fun. She's really funny and cool and really good rider.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I was learning backcountry, so I didn't really know how to do cool pow turns.
Sure.
And she would come in so fast. She taught me how to do good pow turns.
Oh, that's so dope.
Yeah. It takes so long to learn. You'd think at first it's really easy to do a good pow turn on camera, but it's like the hardest thing to get a good shot.
Everybody thinks it's easy,
yeah.
Right? Like you said, when you're looking at the girls at the X Games, you're like, I think if I was there, I could do that. But you're not taking into account the pressure and the
And I don't think anyone anymore look at X Games and think that looks easy.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah,
I was so scared if my kids were like, I want to be a pro snowboarder, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
There's so many other things you can do.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally nuts. Yeah, I remember watching like the Alaska guys doing turns and being like, fuck, if I was there, I would do that.
Well, that's what I thought. When I used to see Victoria's footage, I'm like, that's easy. She's just turning on powder, and I'm stuck in Quebec on hard ice.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Hurts. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's not soft.
And then you go ride with them and you're like, oh my God.
It's blind. I can't see anything.
It's straight over thing and with confidence and make a couple of turns.
No, you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
No.
As I get older, like if I could do a couple of turns, link a couple of turns, I like those kind of turns.
In Alaska, after a year or two, I was like, okay, realistically, for me to become like really good in Alaska, I'm going to have a really big budget, spend a lot of time. And there was like, and it's dangerous and this and this. And I'm like, Whistler's good enough.
It's good enough.
It's good enough for me. I like being home. I like being a Whistler. We can call the Heli here. The lines are good.
Yes.
And I just started being in Whistler more.
So if you call a Heli, who are you talking to? Like Whistler Heli?
No. We had back then there used to be different.
Like those single drops that I remember?
No. We used to you can book Helis. You can book Blackcomb Heli. It depends on your guides.
Okay.
Yeah, there's Heli.
Just because I've heard of these drops where you just go do a day.
Oh, I did that once. That's fun.
Is it fun?
But I don't want to put it on the podcast.
Okay. I'll cut it out. I'll cut it out for sure. No, I don't want to blow any shit out. Let's talk about that. Like, so you've been in it since before lineups. Like these lineups that we have here. Oh my God. Remember coming to like on a powder day, you could come to Whistler and still get scraps a couple days later.
Yeah. Okay. That's true. But there always was lineups.
Yeah.
Whistler has always had lineups.
At the bottom.
The chairs were slower and there was less chairs.
Chairs were slower.
But it's always been crowded on the powder. I remember Harmony lines used to go all the way to the end.
No, that's true.
There's always been lineups.
I guess so.
But nobody would go to the trees until 2 days after.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So
because there wasn't that many riders going there. Mm-hmm. But they were maybe skiing more like the known runs.
Totally.
You still had lineups. But the secret spots were more secret.
I mean, I can remember, and maybe this is way long ago, I can remember boot packing the chimney. Like boot packing it.
You still have to boot pack the chimney.
No, I mean being the person there, in the middle of the day that's boot packing it. Now you go there, first run, as soon as it's open, as soon as people have access to it.
Yeah, for sure.
People go
it's nothing's cool anymore. Like you don't have any secret spots really on the mountain.
Right.
They're hard to find. They're a couple.
Right.
There's places I won't, depending who I'm riding with. There's places I won't go because I know they ride with a lot of people.
Yes.
Or I don't know them well.
Yeah.
Then I won't go. There's some runs I'm like, not today.
Yeah.
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 Not many though.
I find now it's kind of an attitude thing. It's like getting up early. If you don't mind getting up early.
I'm all in. Yeah. I'm so passionate about riding on the mountain. It's one of the reasons why I didn't want to film anymore. Mm-hmm. Because I just like riding the mountain so much. And when you're filming, you're missing all these good days.
Totally.
And I'm up just super early.
Yeah.
in line to be first.
That's epic.
And then you get like quite a few runs without people around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not rushing.
I didn't
like
mind COVID. Like you had to get up so early. We were in line at 6 a.m. sometimes or 6:30.
Yep.
But it took people so much time to get up the hill that you had 3 or 4 laps before people were up.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's all right.
I've had 2 of the best seasons of my life just because of the bottleneck of people and just playing it,
I don't mind getting up early and waiting in line. We wait in line at Peak Chair all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You make friends, you chit chat.
It's kind of a part of the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're really lucky to be able to spend our day on the mountain.
Hell yeah. What the hell's going on with you skiing? How did that happen?
Skiing.
Did you grow up skiing?
I used to go ski, but I didn't really know how to ski. Like I would go down the mountain. Mm-hmm. My friend just gave me her extra gear last year because she got new stuff.
Yeah.
And I used to go maybe once in a while and get rental gear from the mountain when they used to sponsor us. You could get like one day, you get a free rental. But I never really knew like how to ski properly. And then I have a good friend who taught me last year like properly a few tips and gave me some really good pointers.
Yeah.
And now I'm learning to ski and turn
and
go fast. Fun? It's amazing. Because I don't really like the days where you get bored snowboarding because they're groomer days.
Sure.
I'm like, we're learning, like we go like really fast early morning when there's no one on the groomers, on perfect groomers.
Yeah.
We'll just learn to turn. Like now I understand skiing and I'm like, wow, this is so fun.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Because I can't really go ride park anymore on groomer hard days. It's a bit too painful.
Really?
My body can't really handle like jumps and
You've had some
landings.
Kind of crazy injuries, right?
I've had pretty crazy injuries, which my body feels really good as long as I don't hit a hard coping.
Yes.
Or overshoot a jump.
Yes.
Which I just don't have that margin of error anymore in my body.
I got you. Yeah.
And so I'd rather not go in the park.
Yeah.
And just go skiing.
And you've been the person that won the U.S. Open. You got part of the year and rider of the year at Trans World Awards.
Yeah.
Like it's going back as someone that's just like thinking about knuckling the jump. Like that's not as fun, right? It's not.
Well, I love riding park.
Yeah.
Like in a slushy like park or pipe. Pipe's so fun.
Oh yeah.
But it's such a small margin of error that it just hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just hurts now falling in the park. In POW, no problem. If there's like really good snow, I can still hit stuff.
So you still don't have a safety run all these years in? You don't have a run that you could go hit like a perfect pipe and just...
In the pipe? The pipes are so big now. I don't know how to ride 22-foot pipes. I'm more like an 18-foot.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And then here we haven't had it in years, but they're so fun when they had them. I'd love to ride pipe.
An 18-foot pipe, a 14-foot pipe, 12-foot pipe is so much fun.
The small pipes are fun. The 22,
yeah.
It's a bit like I'd have to like hike it all summer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it hurts falling.
Yeah. Hate it.
Yeah. No, I don't want to fall that much.
I barely get in the air this year. I'm just making turns.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
And
I'm having fun.
And hitting cliffs and POW and pillows, cliffs, that's fun.
Little things. Yeah, pillows.
Yeah. I can still do that. But the park, I can't really overshoot or land flat.
That's not in the
I'll
cards.
go skiing. Yeah. And then I can go fast.
Right.
It's fun.
That's nuts.
To learn the proper technique, I still have so much work to do, but it's fun.
So you're having fun doing it. It's like a new kind of addiction or something.
I'm a day. Yeah. When it's groomer days, I'm like, yay, let's go to 8:30 so that now I understand why skiers like perfect groomers.
It's just so epic. But a perfect groomers for snowboarding is fun too.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, but I'll get bored faster.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because you've done so many exciting things on a snowboard that...
I think now on skis it's more exciting.
That's crazy.
You could go faster.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's always been a thing. You can always go faster on skis. You got 4 edges.
It's just more technical.
Yeah. Yeah.
To figure it out. It's just fun to learn something new.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We just did 5 minutes on skiing.
Yeah. It's cool. No, I like it. I'll keep doing it. I need better skis for sure.
Yeah. Maybe you'll get sponsored.
No, yeah. No.
How often you go back and see your parents? Did you stay close with them while you moved out here?
I go up for sure every year at Christmas.
Yep.
And then my mom by herself, she'll come every year for like a trip because we get along really well.
Epic.
And my dad doesn't care that much to come out.
He's still that guy.
Yeah, she'll come for like a week or we spend good time together.
they must have been really proud of you through your career. I mean, you've had some huge
Yeah,
highlights.
it took a while for them to like understand that's what I was gonna do for a long time. And they were super. I think once I got on Nike, that's when my dad was like, "My daughter's on Nike." Then his friends understood what Nike is.
Yeah.
And, my mom really was always scared. They never really trusted that I was going to be okay later financially because I didn't go to university.
Right.
It was always a big worry for them.
When did you start investing in properties?
As soon as, after I won the U.S. Open. It's like 2003, 2004.
So it was JF and his wife that were like just investing.
Yeah, they were just like, buy anything you can. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it actually was not a good time to buy because we just got the Olympic bid. And so things went up.
Oh, yeah.
And then they kind of went down after I bought.
So you were scared.
So I had a really shitty condo I didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you sold it at a loss.
I sold it at the same price I bought it.
Yeah.
So not really a loss, but I learned what I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You always learn.
I mean, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and also you bought crypto like super early.
Yeah, that's because one of my friends. And I'm really bummed now that when we did buy crypto, I didn't research it and I didn't really look into it. I just bought it.
Yeah.
And then it crashed.
That's painful.
It crashed and I was like, oh, that was a waste of a few grand.
Right.
And then years later, Dom was like, oh, their Bitcoins are worth a bit more money now. And I was like, I don't know how to get into my account, lost the password. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah, I was bummed that I didn't really research more of it back then because I would have killed it.
Yeah, I researched it and just didn't buy in. It was kind of hard to figure out how to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even with, I guess, that's just an excuse. Because with the internet, you could just Google, how do I buy Bitcoin? It was one of those things where I was saying, this is going to be massive. I remember when it was $7 a Bitcoin, and I was like,
really?
That's so expensive.
And you knew
it had been
at
pennies.
that time?
Yeah, because I'd listened to like Freakonomics and a couple of these other podcasts about like how secure it was, like what they were building.
Yeah.
But it still always sounded sketchy.
Imagine if you had put like $100.
It's so
even
dumb
20.
that I wouldn't have. You know what the thing is? I would have, when it was worth 100, if I put in 20 when it was worth 100, I would have got it out.
Right.
I wouldn't have sat on it.
Right.
I
wouldn't even known how to sell.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. No, there is like it's so hard to buy.
I didn't know anything about it. I wouldn't have known what to do with it.
I only learned how to buy it like 3 years ago from a guy at work.
Oh, okay.
He said, go buy it in one of those, what were they called? Honey Badger, like where you put your debit card. No, you don't even put a debit card. You just start stuffing cash
when
in
I
there.
bought it,
yeah.
we had to put cash in a machine.
Yeah,
and you got a receipt out. And I was like, well, that was such a ripoff.
Yeah, totally.
And then I threw that out.
Oh, my God.
So that's why I couldn't find my account or anything.
Oh,
later.
man, that's incredible. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so then I've watched it go, like that money went to shit.
Yeah.
And then it ballooned. And I was like, wow, I was, you go, oh, man, I was dumb.
Now.
Then I was like smart.
It's low now. It's a good time to buy.
It's so low right now.
It's going to go up.
I mean, it's got to go up. Well, oh, yeah, I thought that would be fun to do. What's your pick? I'll buy it right now.
Oh, my pick? Yeah. Oh, man. It's like a full. Well, I've been learning.
And then we'll watch this over the years.
I've been learning that if you pick altcoins, Ethereum's at a good price now.
Okay.
But if you're buying altcoins, you have to sell when they're up.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
Before you get wrecked.
Yeah, because I could have made a lot of money if I sold the coins that I had. Yeah. When they were worth a lot, but now they're not worth anything.
See, I thought like altcoins, I thought crypto was like a long-term investment.
Right, like Bitcoin, because you just watch it. Right.
The alts is more of a full-time job of like checking the charts and buying a low price, buy on like red days, not green days.
Yeah, so today's a big red day.
I have a new friend now I met.
Yeah.
That he's an expert at reading charts.
Nice.
And so he could tell me if it's a good time to buy or not these coins and how high they're going to go. Kind of like how people do stocks. Some people do stocks of fundamentals. Yes. Or some people can just read charts. And they know profit-taking levels and they know good entry points and they think... So I've been listening. It's a full-time job. The new people I listen or I watch or I study.
Yeah.
And then you can get memberships that they tell you like how to read the chart and when's a good entry point, when's a good profit. And so every coin has its own chart.
Right.
So it's not all the time a good day to buy every coin.
No, of course.
Well, I didn't know that. I used to just hear, oh, this is a good coin. Oh, cool, buy it.
Right. So you go like, yeah. So like actually because of a conversation I had with you, I was looking at Digibyte, which is the one that I've bought into because it's open source. It's 5 times
this
safer.
psychic
It's
I
quite
follow,
fast.
she loves it. She thinks it's going to be a good coin.
I think it's going to be a
But
good
it's
coin.
really low right now.
It's super
It's
low.
probably a good buying price.
I bought some the other day at 2 cents or something.
What's it at now?
2.9.
The market's correcting. It's not about to like shoot up. All of January, I follow these really good crypto psychics
Yeah.
and astrologers that read charts.
Yeah.
And they're saying January, down month, few big corrections.
Yeah.
And then the money's coming back, let's say around the 30th at the end of the month. And in February, the money should be coming back to crypto. March should be good.
Interesting.
And then take profits.
Take profits
Because
when
they're
it's good.
thinking mid-April, end of April is going to crash, like last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it's crashing right now. Like it's kind of gone slowly down.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, it's been a pain in the ass.
But now you have like a bunch of stupid things in the news. Ukraine and Russia
And is that what's pushing the price down, do you think?
I think they're very manipulated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think everything's quite manipulated. Is it Q4 that a lot of companies take profits? And they sell all
guess.
their stuff to show that they had profits.
Right.
Before yearly ends and taxes and things like that. Mm-hmm. And so people are still on vacation after Christmas and they haven't gone back quite to buying. But like if people I watch or listen to, they said big whales, which are like big companies who accumulate Bitcoin and Ethereum, they've slowly been buying the whole dip of January.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but I don't really know. I just listen to people.
You seem to be doing fairly well with it, though.
I've been pretty good at losing money lately.
Yeah, because
I didn't learn to take profits when it was high. So now next time it's higher.
Yeah, I got you.
They didn't take profits.
I'm taking profits this March. If your psychic comes in
Mid-March, before April, like mid-April, I think they were saying.
Yeah.
When it's on the news.
Yeah.
And everyone's buying.
Yeah.
And the news, when the news tells you to buy, and those people, those puppets on TV are telling you buy Bitcoin.
That's when
That's because they are selling.
Nice.
Yeah. They bought the dip.
Yeah.
When they're telling you on TV.
Like it's a great time to buy.
Bitcoin's bad. It's for criminals.
Right.
It's like drug dealers.
Right.
That's when they're buying.
Yeah.
And then when there's good news coming out in the mainstream.
Yeah.
You listen to mainstream media and you do the opposite.
Excellent.
It's like a great guide.
Yeah.
Of his investing, and the opposite is what they say on TV.
Yeah. So right now they're saying like, holy shit, everybody lost their shirt on this.
Like they already
Bitcoin
sold
stuff.
all their stocks at their peaks in the fall.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, oh, there's a cold, the Ukraine, there's this. And now they're going to crash the markets maybe. I don't know what's going on with the stock markets. And then when they crash the market, then they go buy cheap.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't seem...
Because they can read charts. They have like expert chart analysis.
Well, and then they're...
let's say Elon Musk. Mm-hmm. In the fall, his brother sold shares at the high. Mm-hmm. And then Elon came out in the news and he's like, hey, do you guys think I should sell some shares for, what was it he wanted to do? Feed people that were hungry, or what was it somewhere?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, if you follow his tweets. And then he sold some of his shares.
Yeah.
And then the Tesla stock crashed. Like went down quite a bit because it went up a lot.
Right.
So those guys can read charts and they know it's about to take a dip. And so they sell and take profits before it dips.
Yeah, it was my conversation with you where you were like, it's probably best to get money out of it when it's at...
Yeah, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I haven't acted very well on it yet. This is what I've been learning and studying, how not to get wrecked. We're just trying to stay alive.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you have a pro model.
Yeah, I do.
We should probably talk about Salomon and pro models and... Yeah, what's your program? Like, what's your sponsorship set up?
Now I still ride for Salomon, and they've been just so awesome.
How many years you been with Salomon?
I don't want to count the years because then,
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
The whole way through, you never went to another board
I've
company?
never gone to another company because I love their boards.
Yep.
And it's always been a great company to work for.
Cool.
And they've been supportive of what I wanted to do.
Yep.
Yeah. And most importantly, their boards have always been awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like, because when I started riding backcountry, they were making 6 sticks.
Yep. Perfect.
And then a lot of my video parts on Absent are on 6 sticks.
Rad.
And then they came out with the women's POW boards. And now they've asked me to design one. And I'm super lucky because like all the young girls don't ride that much POW. And I've had so much experience riding all their boards and riding powder. So now I design like a super fun POW board that's good for like every day. So I just ride that one board every day. Like it's fun to turn on groomers. I can ride pipe with it. I can ride POW.
Rad.
Like the only day I might not ride that board would be if you would send me to ride lines in Alaska, which I don't want to do. But no, it's a super fun board. And they asked me to design it and I was really surprised.
Surprised because you're at the end of your career.
Yeah, because I don't want to film a video part.
Right.
You know? And they kind of have like Dirksen and Vole and a lot of the guys designing like super fun boards. And I think that's what people want.
Yeah.
And people want like fun boards for the resort. Now that's what I do. I ride the resort every day and have a great time.
Nah, that's super sick.
And so, yeah, it's like my one board I ride every day.
So now you're not going on trips. You're not competing in contests. If they called you for Supernatural, would you do it?
No.
I would love so fast.
I would love to actually announce at Supernatural.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, because last year I thought it was great. They had girls.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be fun to have a girl who like can explain how hard it is, what's going on, and understand what those riders are going through. I felt like last year there was so many tricky things going on during the event, and there wasn't really someone saying to the main public who doesn't know what's going on, and they just thinks like these people are falling and they're not very good.
Right.
And I thought there was a lack at moments of someone explaining how hard it is and what's going on and how hard those features are, that they've never written them and it's blind. And I just thought there was a lack of understanding.
Yeah.
But I was not jealous to not be participating. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to do it because I would push myself.
Yes.
To look good and to like hit fun jumps, and I just wouldn't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
Because I just like snowboarding too much and I don't want to spend a season on the couch.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the Jackson event was probably the best thing I saw last year.
It was amazing. They had such good conditions. Mm-hmm. It was so fun to watch. Mm-hmm. I'd love to be there. It'd be an epic event to watch and to like announce.
Well, we should get you in touch with the people. Have you called them?
Oh, I emailed one person.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would be awesome.
But didn't get back to me. So I'm like, all right.
You know what? I'll send.
Well, it's like in 2 days. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's too late. They probably had their people.
Yeah, they better not be switching.
And I think
people
it's
out
live
now.
too, so you can't really hire anybody probably.
Yeah.
That's like not trained or not like media trained for big live events with so many people who watch.
Yeah, I wonder.
You got to probably like not swear.
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot of like.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of Red Gerard after winning the Olympics and he was just swearing on live TV. It was so rad to see.
No, I think it's a great event. Yeah, it's fun to watch. But I would be stressed for sure.
Yeah.
There's big jumps. It's not easy. You've never ridden the course.
They make it look easy.
A lot of people struggled, and the guys too. A lot of guys were falling. Like.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
it wasn't easy.
Fresh track stuff looked like, oh my god.
Yeah, but they still weren't landing because they were going like overshooting.
Yeah.
And I heard it was so deep too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well that's the thing. Like it's hard to judge your speed on a POW
flat
day.
light.
And flat light, yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
it was amazing. It was such a good event.
Yeah.
But hard to ride.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'd like to go ride that run anyway.
I think a lot of people would.
Yeah, so you're still on Salomon. You're still a professional snowboarder. Is that your main career?
I don't
or is
consider myself a professional snowboarder because my definition of someone, if you're allowed to say you're a professional snowboarder, that means you live off snowboarding.
So you're a snowboard designer for Salomon, essentially.
I just ride for fun.
Right.
And I'm so lucky that I was able to design the perfect snowboard.
Mm-hmm. I liked when you were talking in the Airtime podcast about your work-life balance, like that you actually needed time off from snowboarding in order to be a professional snowboarder, like to have that passion and hunger for it still, because I can't even imagine if it's your job to post stuff every day, and then you're going like, okay, well, today's rainy, but I'm going to go back and post something from 3 days ago. It's like, hey, I wish I was doing this today.
Yeah.
Like every moment of every day.
Yeah, now it's in,
looking
like, I
at the
haven't
likes.
seen the recent contracts. I was so lucky because my main part of my career was before you had to like constantly advertise yourself.
Right.
We had like, it was great. Like I was so lucky. I think I was in one of the best times in snowboarding because
Hell yeah.
you do your work and then it was done. And then the magazines would come out and the movies would come out and you had done your work and you could like punch out at the end of the season because there's no more powder.
Right.
But when you used to ride park, you'd train all year. You'd go like, you'd follow the snow all year. So you're always riding, but you're not always on your phone trying to like, be like, I'm cool.
Right. Getting a clip. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you started pretty early on taking summers in Mexico or?
No, later. When I started having a bit of time off, I started taking like a week here and a week there. At first, I would only have a week because we used to have like photo shoots and movie premieres and board meeting designs and all that stuff. We kind of were like, your sponsors kept you busy.
Yeah.
But I would take a bit of time off for sure.
Yeah. But lately you've been doing like
Lately
6
I do
months,
half
6
and
months?
half. I do
Yeah.
half at the beach and half in the mountains. That's my good balance.
Where's your spot in Mexico?
I've been going to Indonesia.
Oh, you've been going to India?
Yeah,
Oh my
because
God.
it's quite cheap there and it's a perfect, it's their good season when it's our summer. Mm-hmm. As we're Central America, when it's our summer, it's raining.
Right.
And hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been really fortunate that during COVID, Bali's been really quiet.
Oh, that's epic.
And all the Australians are locked in.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. So everything, it's really sad for people that have businesses and live in Bali because everything is very discounted.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are hurting and they're starving. Like, they don't care about COVID anymore. They're like, just open the borders. We are dying of starvation.
Oh, man.
It's really sad to watch. They're way more scared of malaria and dengue than COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just want the borders to open.
Yeah.
Yeah, and go back to business because one waitress at a restaurant, she probably feeds her whole family who lives like further away. And so, yeah, they're pretty hurting over there.
Yeah. Hopefully this whole thing fucking ends somehow.
Yeah.
God.
We're not talking about it.
No, we're not. Thank you so much for doing the show.
Yeah,
Annie.
my pleasure.
You're one of the most talented people to ever pick up a snowboard. Now I kind of understand a bit why. You're very self-determined. That's dope.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool. Thanks.
Later. FNRad shout-outs this week to Annie Boulanger. Thanks for doing the show. Shout-out to Natasha Zurich, who introduced me to Annie. Extra special thanks to everyone who reached out this week on the internet and in real life to say they liked the show. Matt Cook from Oregon, stoked to hear from you. And thanks to Dom Goche and Ali Gagnon for the photos to promote the show. Be sure to come back next week for another episode of the FNRad Snowboard Podcast, presented by Vans and brought to you by SIA Productions.